Our state, as you all know, was created about 2 years ago. And when you start off as a new state, you're not burdened by legacy. So you actually have the agility of a startup, the bent of mind of a startup in terms of formulating new policies, and trying to pick up from the best practices across the world. You have the ability to absorb, to learn from the best in the business. So as a startup state, when we wanted to give a little bit of a push to innovation, myself and Jayesh Ranjan, our IT secretary, who's also here, and who's been a constant supporter to the Augustfest and also to the rest of the startup community in Hyderabad. In fact, we went around, we tried to emulate the best. And when we started building on the story of startups, we met a lot of youngsters who've basically been looking for a platform. We created the country's largest technology incubator called the T-Hub in Hyderabad. Now T-Hub has done well in the last 1 year, but we have to do a lot more. I think T-Hub alone, or government alone, can only do so much. So what we've tried to do is, we've come out with the innovation policy, which basically promotes, which basically also supports a lot of private incubators, a lot of startups. In fact, we also have come out with a rural technology policy. I know Funny is actually Funny, and also Raju Reddy of Hitachi are also working on something even more eventful and something even more wonderful. They're actually working on a rural incubator called the KTR Sandbox, based out of Nizamabad, to give scope to a lot of youngsters from Nizamabad and other rural districts also. So it's not just a story about T-Hub or one incubator or one state. I think it has to be about building an ecosystem. In fact, one of the stories I keep telling a lot of people in Funny's absence also, which I'd like to narrate here. So last time we meet Funny in Bangalore, myself and Jayesh. So I request Funny to come to Hyderabad, spend some time with our startups. He told me that he's taking a sabbatical, and he also told me that he's investing in a lot of startups. So while we were there, we actually had a Hyderabad startup reach out to Funny, saying, "Sir, I'd like to meet you. I'd like to make a pitch, and if you can invest, obviously I'll be happy." So Funny, in front of us, in fact, he was actually on a call. He said, "Yeah, I'm coming to Hyderabad in about a couple of weeks, so I'll meet you there." And then, the very same day, he receives an email from somebody in Bangalore. And since Funny actually lives in Bangalore, he called this Bangalore guy who actually sent an email a couple of hours later after the Hyderabadi guy. He meets him the very next day. He also invests right there. The point I'm trying to make is, in today's world, we believe that we live in a virtual world where physical distances don't matter, locations don't matter, and where you reside does not matter. But unfortunately, in some cases it does. When you are a startup looking for an investment, for you to reach out to a VC, for you to reach out to an investor, potential investor, an angel investor, is extremely important. And to ensure that this ecosystem gets built in Hyderabad, we are actually kicking off a fund called the T Fund on the 5th of November this year, where the government is also investing significant amount of money. Basically to give healthy dose of infusion of capital into early stage companies. The second thing we are also extremely excited about doing is launching T-Hub's outpost in the valley in October itself, this year. The reason why we wanted to do an outpost in the valley is for one simple reason. When WhatsApp got valued at $19 billion, I think it threw a lot of us off the chair, especially people like me. I said, what is so fancy about the product that somebody had to shell out $19 billion? The point is, you have to be in the right place at the right time. See, had WhatsApp been founded by an Indian based out of Bangalore or Hyderabad, I don't think it would have got $19 billion. I think $1 billion would itself have been, big news. The point I'm trying to make is, unless your idea is evaluated by the right kind of people, unless your idea is exposed to the right kind of markets and right kind of audience, its true valuation will not come out. So therefore, to ensure that Indian startups, not just Hyderabad startups or startups from Telangana, are exposed to the world, we've actually taken a space in the valley, are liaising with a lot of prominent venture capitalist firms out there, and launching this outpost in October, which will create a feeder for all the Indian startups based out of T-Hub to go to the Sandhill Road, make your presence felt, make a pitch, and if your product has a lot of merit, I'm sure you will attract valuations like WhatsApp or LinkedIn or whatever we've seen in the last 1